Awesome. So, welcome everybody. Wow, this is our November monthly group coaching call, and it is amazing to see you all. It's like these sometimes feel like it's ages in between these sessions, probably because there hasn't been, well, we haven't had a container rolling, right? There hasn't been like a program or a course rolling, but that's going to change very, very soon. So I just opened the call telling a little story about my tech issues. It's not the first one either. My microphone, my mouse also died yesterday, so I needed to get another one of those. And my iPad took a little tumble into the bath about 4 weeks ago. So it's been a really interesting ride with technology. And, there's a lot when we start to deepen into this work that we do here in the pack, we start to look at the reasons. Well, why is that happening? What are you resisting? What are allowing to get in the way, or allowing these difficulties or challenges to get in the way of, right? And I know exactly what that is. It's the next thing that's coming out. So that's where I'm at. I would love to know where all of you are at. One of the things that has been really landing for me, and I'm going to do a little post on it, and I'll just use this to kick off the call because it's such a powerful theme that we become very aware of when we start to do this work, and it's the notion of good and bad. It's it's just been really showing up for me with my clients, and I've got a whole chapter dedicated to it in my book, right? Because for us as parents, oh my God, if we can get out of this duality of making things either really good or making things bad. And my little guy came to me this morning because he actually we were on a little holiday, and you had to get to this my friend's house by boat. And while we were coming back, because I was doing the boat thing myself, this little dinghy with an electric motor, super cool and really fun. And we jumped out, and it was deeper than we thought. And his phone went in the water, right? So this is a whole thing happening at the moment. So he hasn't had a phone for about 2.5, maybe even 3 weeks. And he goes to me this morning. He goes, "Oh, Mum, I haven't died because I haven't got a phone." I'm like, "Fancy that, dude. Wow, isn't that interesting?" And we have this level of conversation that we talk about things from a very neutral, non-judgmental, non-good, non-bad place, right? Where he understands the really awesome things about having a phone and the not so awesome things about having a phone. Like when you go to set your alarm at night before you go to bed, and half an hour later you're still scrolling TikTok, right? Which happens to me. Yeah, and I shared that with him, and he goes, "Oh, Mum, that happens to me too." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, dude, because I noticed that you're a bit tired lately." So, yeah, good and bad. It's something that's really been uh, continuing to show up in my life, and how it really is such a destructive notion. And one of the things that I do, and you guys can do it too, you can do it with your kids. If you don't have kids, you can do it with a friend or somebody that's close to you. What am I still making bad? What do I still make bad? Yeah. What do I still make bad? Because for me, there was a long list. Sugar, screens, anything fun, really. I was like the fun police. So, and now there's very, very little. Yeah, my little guy, when I asked him a while ago, he said, "Oh, you still make it a bit bad when I feel bad, right? If he's got big emotions coming up, or he's just having a low day, yeah, I can still make it a bit bad." So that's just something that's sitting there for me. What's happening with you guys? This is a group coaching call, and we come together in these calls because there's so much power in it, right? There's so much power to share. There's so much power to get insight on whatever's going on for us, which is always so impactful for every single person on the call, right? We can find some thread or some, piece of gold in everybody's sharing with what everybody's going on. has going on. So would love to hear from you guys about anything that is really cooking in your world, something that you're struggling with, a piece that you can bring and say, man, this is really tripping me up at the moment. Love your t-shirt, Jody. Catherine's got something to kick us off straight away. What's happening in your world, lovely?
I'll unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yep. You're
Um,
live.
well, there's too much. There's too much going on. But just on that notion of good and bad, so my almost 7-year-old stole some money out of my wallet a couple of weeks ago, and he'd planned it, and said, Mum, I'm going to walk home from school today by myself, and we haven't quite got there yet. So I was like, oh yeah, okay. And he's like, I think I'm going to walk down the street and I'm going to cross the road at the dairy and then I'll come home. And then during the day, I saw the money had gone. And I was like, and then I walked up to school. And he's like, you're not supposed to be here. And I was like, well, off you go home. And then as I was walking home, I clicked. He'd taken the money. He'd planned to go to the dairy, bought himself and his mate an ice block. Anyway, so there was this stealing is bad. But I didn't use the word bad. I was trying to find something else. So I was like, buddy, it's dishonest, and I really want to be able to trust you. And if you do things like that. So everyone, I sort of shared it with my family, like, did you punish him? What did you do? Did you punish him? That was so naughty. And I was like, no. I didn't want to use the word naughty. I didn't want to, and so I used the screen because the screen is leveraged. So I said, right, well, we can't have the iPad for a week. No iPad for a week. I'm gonna die. I can't survive that. You should have seen the meltdown. But I didn't, like I was still struggling with it, with that whole thing of the child taking something because they wanted something. It's like it's actually a normal thing for a kid to do. They try out that. So I don't know what I want out of this. It was just that's one thing that happened. And he's still doing it. He can't actually help himself. There's zero impulse control there. But I didn't want to make him bad. The action isn't probably the best if you want to, but that was it.
Yeah. It's a great thing to bring in, right? It's a great thing to bring in. Have you ever done something similar?
Yes, I was a klepto when I was little. I would take anything I could. So I know what he's doing. And so I didn't want to make it bad, but I also don't want it to continue.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Did you tell him that?
That I used to take things. Yeah, that's one of his favorite stories. Can you tell me that time you went into the hardware shop and took those things and Uncle Jared told on you?
Yeah. Yeah.
He loves that story.
Awesome. Because we want to be honest with our kids, right? We want them to know that we did all the stupid shit that they're going to do as well. And I actually shared my stories of stealing and shoplifting, and I took money out of my mother's wallet as well. And back then, I had no idea how little she had, right? Like as I grew up and now looking back, it's like, man, she didn't have that money. Like she really didn't have that money, and I was like, trying not to beat myself up about it. But kids don't know. They don't know that, right? They don't know the adult stuff that we have going on unless we share it with them age appropriately. We don't want to dump all our problems on them, but we want to help them to understand the situation. And to be able to do it, I mean, how freaking relevant, right, was the good and bad opening today? Because as soon as we go into making what's happened bad, the situation bad, their behavior bad, them bad, right? Because most of us grew up believing we were bad, yeah, because it wasn't just our behavior. There was no separation. And I love what you've done because you're trying, and it's not easy because our parents weren't able to do it, to separate the child from the behavior, right? This is something that you've done that's not okay. right? It's not you. You're awesome. You're just trying these things out. You're learning, you're growing, you're experimenting, all of the things. But I need to let you know that that's not okay with me to take money out of my wallet. You know, what I'd rather you did is if you want to buy you and your friend an ice block, cool, man, just ask me. I'd be more than willing, you know? I mean, it's an ice block, right? It's not like he went out and bought him a Lambo, right? It's,
On about the Lamborghinis. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah.
yeah. So, but the interesting thing here, right, is what comes from outside. Oh, did you punish him? Right?
Mhm.
Did you punish him? And we know what punishment does, right? It just pushes it even more into the shadows where he's never going to come to you with what he's done. You know, if yeah, I remember, I broke a lamp when I was a kid, right? And my mother's like, right, who broke the lamp? You know, there's four of us kids and no one owned up to it. There was no way I was going to own up to it because I knew that there'd be punishment coming, right? Punishment doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. But what does is opening into these transparent, very honest conversations, speaking from our own experience and natural consequences, right? Natural consequences.
So what are the natural consequences? Like I was actually looking for a reason to take the screen away for a period of time. So I used that because I knew that would hurt him.
Yeah.
I knew that would get him. But actually I just want to be able to, that's a whole other thing. I want to be able to monitor it without using it as a threat or as leverage. Like
Yeah.
that's still not sitting well with me. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
You
achieving what I
can.
want, less screen
Yeah.
time, but it's using it as a threat and leverage,
Yeah.
and that's
I
not
get it. I get it. And you look, I'm really it's like as because I wrote it down, I was like natural consequences. And then I was going, shit, what's a natural consequence? Right. And I was
me
like,
not
it's gonna
trusting you.
come.
But how
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what is that
It's
even?
going to come. And you know, I always trust the intuitive process. And if nothing came for me, I was going to ask the rest of the group, right? Okay, what
Yeah.
do you get for a natural consequence? Look, you can use it as leverage, right? Because the screens do hurt. Because our
Mm.
kids love the screens. They do, man. And I mean, we're not going to give up our phone, right? I know that for damn sure. We're in this world. We live with technology. You know, when it fucks up, you know, you feel it. But look, this is the thing. There's a way that you can use it. And I had a very powerful session with a client around exactly this piece. The thing is that, you know, we can start to use it as leverage. Let's just call it what it is, right? Let's call a spade, because this is what we're doing. Um, by linking it to the level of maturity that our child is showing us, right? It's like I've got a client whose son really wants to play Fortnite, and we went through a whole big thing of him hiding Fortnite because mum made it bad, right? Fortnite's bad because of all the stories you hear, right? And so it was bad, 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 and it went into the shadow. So he was hiding that he was playing it, and then she found out, right? And then it all came up, and I'm like, why are you making Fortnite bad? Yeah, she knows about good and bad, like she understands. And I said, what if it wasn't bad? What would you do if you dropped that label, right? If you completely let it go and it just was a game that your son wants to play, then we start to get into these conversations around, well, is it useful? Is it empowering? You know, and we can start to go from this neutral space. And what she ended up doing was sitting down and watching her son play Fortnite and going, oh my God, it's not even nearly as bad as I thought it was, right? Lifted the label off and then started to actually meet him in his world, right? Rather than just making it bad and saying, you can't do this, pushing it into the shadows. He's going to go and play it at somebody else's house, right? And if something does happen, yeah, maybe some online bullying, you know, because you can all gather and you can all talk and, you know, you can meet people and in these games. If something does happen, there's no way her kid's going to come to mum and talk to her about it because it's bad and I'm not allowed, right? But what I'm getting at, my point is that there was some other thing going on. And she was saying, look, if you can't show me the level of maturity, right, that you are saying to me that you've got to be able to have these privileges of going on Fortnite and playing these games and having this little man cave that he's just created under the stairs for like his little gaming, place. And if you're if you're wanting to have that privilege, because we really need to let our kids know that having screens and playing games is a privilege, right? It is a privilege. It is not a given.
Yeah.
It's a privilege. Not everyone has this privilege. There's a lot of kids in the world that do not have an iPad and do not have the, availability to play Fortnite and all these other games. It's a privilege, and they need to show that they are mature enough to be handling that privilege, right? Otherwise, it goes. Yeah, and I've been, I've said to my boys, it's a privilege. We've had, more than more than a couple. What do I call it? I call it a screen a no screen challenge or something like that, where we'll just go screen free for like 4 weeks. Yeah, let's just see what happens, right? We're like, no, it's not a screen ban, right? It's a screen free challenge, right? Language is everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
It really is. But do you see how I'm just starting to shift it as a way that now our kids can start to step up into their power, right? It's like, look, if I'm gonna if you're gonna be able to have this privilege of having screens and going online and doing these, grown-up kid things, then you've got to show me that you're honest, dude. You got to be honest with me. Right? This is how it works. This is a two-way street, right? It's a two-way street. Yeah. And it brings it into a much more conversational relationship, right? Where you're not making it bad that he took money out of your wallet because God damn, you did the same thing when it's like, look, dude, I know I got no leg to stand on. And I want to help you learn that it's not an okay thing to do. Because we don't just go out to this, even though you did nick your whatever from the hardware. we we generally don't go out and just take things from the store, right?
One would hope.
Yeah. And I've done it too. Look, I got caught and I was in a police station and oh my God, and I'd stolen a pen, right, from the bookshop or, you know, and to let our kids know that we've done it too. We've done these stupid things while we were still learning. Yeah, but we want to encourage our kids to not make themselves bad, right? Not guilt them and, put them in guilt and shame and make them bad, and empower them, right, to step forward and go, yeah, mum, I'm mature enough to have this privilege. You watch me, mum. I'm not, I'm if I ever feel like I'm going to do that again, I'm going to really try and come to you. And the other thing that you could do, you could tell them that you were on this call. You could tell them that you heard a story about another kid whose mum was like having the same conversation, and this is what he decided to tell his mum, that he was going to really step up, and if he really wanted an ice cream with his friend, then he was going to write his mum a note, or I don't know. Stories are gold. Yeah, they're gold because they don't make our kids bad, right? When it's about us, their ears go bing, right? Whereas when we were kids, our ears went, no, I don't want to hear it, right? Because all it was is, you don't do this, you shouldn't be doing this, you're bad, in as many words. So yeah, yeah. How does that feel?
Good. Better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting, right? To shift that. It's like, because then it goes away from threats, it goes away from punishments, and it transforms into, how can I empower my kid here to step up and go, yeah,
And do the right thing. That's,
well, yeah, yeah. Do the things that we need to do just to be able to be in society together, Yeah. Yeah. So, it's opening up these conversations around kids. And look, I parent in a completely different way. Like I really do. And it blows my mind. And when I tell people that I let my kids choose their own bedtimes, right? As long as they're not all in my room, making noise and if they're doing their own thing. But I said to my boys, and this was a long while ago, I said, look, you choose your own bedtime, but if you're a dick in the morning and you're like really knacking and like just chucking it all over everyone else, then nah, then it comes back to me, right? Because obviously you're not mature enough yet, yeah, to be making that choice. Maybe it comes back to me for a few months and then we have another go, right? It's things like that. It's like, man, invitation to step into your power, but not making them bad if they don't quite get it. It's like, okay, well, that didn't quite work out so well. You stayed up till what, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. It's like it's empowering them rather than just imposing our way on them. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Parenting. Love it. I love talking about parenting. My favorite topic. Oh, and I'm just about finished my book. I'm just wrapping up the last 3 chapters. So my editor's got the first chapter. So you're gonna love my book. It's coming. God, I've been saying that for so many years, and now it actually is. It's quite scary. Right, Shani, what do you got?
I mean, yay that you're in the last 3 chapters. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tidying up the last 3 chapters. It's like they've been written. I just need to tidy them up. But I got to that point where I couldn't even look at it anymore, when it's all like swimming around and I can't even read it because I've been looking at it so long. But yeah.
There's time to put it down when you're there and walk away for a little bit.
Totally. So that is what I have done. What's happening with you, gorgeous?
I'm sitting in I just would like a little bit of some feedback. I'm sitting in this 2 weeks out from the first women's gathering for her tribe. And I think I'm just really struggling with pricing. In my brain, we're running a 3-hour container. And this gorgeous yoga studio that I've been able to book. And it's all fallen in really nicely in the last week or so. But now I'm sitting here with no tickets sold and just that that awareness of knowing that I'm launching something in the last 2 months before Christmas and knowing that everyone's, really tight on money and tight on time and, self-care goes out the window and just sort of trying to work out whether I stick with the original pricing or whether I drop it down for the first couple to get numbers, so to make it more palatable for the time of year it's being launched in.
What's the date? When is it? When's it happening?
So there's 3. There's the 16th, the 30th, and the 14th.
So there's three events?
Yeah, they're going to be fortnightly events, but at the moment I've just committed to 3 until the end of the year, and then we're taking a break until probably mid-Jan because it's no point trying to do it over Christmas.
Yeah. 16th, 30th, and 14th of December. Okay, December. Okay.
So November, December.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. And how much is it?
At the moment it's $50 for a 3-hour circle.
So $50 for each of those sessions?
Yes.
Okay, 3 hours. Okay. All right. And is there any kind of offer where they can buy 3 for a cheaper price or that sort of thing?
No, but I was thinking about that this morning.
Yep, that might be a good idea. Have you done an early bird offer?
Nope.
You could do an early bird.
Mm-hmm.
Early birds are great because it's like, come buy it, because you get some people, signed up, right?
Yep.
Then it's like, whoo, I got people signed up. Even if you have 3, honestly, I have delivered workshops to 3 people. Yeah. Yep. When you're starting out, if you got someone to talk to, rock on, right? It's great. Yeah. So I've done things where I've been talking to myself. Luckily, I quite enjoy that and it's all good. But look, none of this matters, right? The only thing that matters is that you do it, right? That's the only thing that matters. Now, what I would be doing is, because what happens, has your enthusiasm slowed down? Right? Have you been plugging it? Have you been like putting it out there? Have you been like, or
I
have you
think
been going?
my enthusiasm is just taking a break, has taken a break. This is a long weekend for us in
Yeah.
Melbourne. So I've just kind of put it down for this weekend. I was going pretty hardcore on it last week. And like, yeah, I feel like, I don't think my enthusiasm hasn't dropped. I just sort of had a phone conversation with a friend yesterday where she sort of went, oh, well, you know, you're probably not going to get anyone before Christmas because people aren't going to spend that money this close to Christmas. And that's what I've been sitting with. I'm like, wow, that's that's one of my best, but you know, one of my inner circle, and I'm like, fuck, what if she's right? Maybe I need to make it $35. Like, what, you know, I wanted to launch this earlier, but my co-facilitator's been in South Africa with a family medical thing for like 3 months. So I'm aware that like the timing of launching it is later than is ideal.
Yep.
But I'm covering up. I've got $150 room hire for these 3 meetings, and then it goes up to $250. And so it's like I really feel like I need to get some traction. In these meetings.
Yep. And as long as you cover costs when it's your first thing, great, right?
Yeah.
Great. And look, the stories that we tell ourselves, right? Or that other people tell you as well. Oh, it's too close to Christmas, right? Bullshit.
Yep.
Right. Right. It's bullshit. And you know, this is a really good story that my coach told me, and I think it was talking about either the recession, or one of the recessions, or it might have been COVID, or you know, some big event that was going on. And someone was saying, oh, but you know, this, and oh, but that, and no one's got any money, and it's all this and all that. And he goes, yeah, look, I know that might be going on for you, but I'm choosing not to participate. Right. And look, I've had my own thing going on because I've got a date that I've been pushing, right, with what I've got coming up. And I'm just choosing not to go into that story around people not wanting to spend money at Christmas, because just like I did with Catherine about just massaging, or you know, really shifting tack here, yeah, you got the best, honestly, the best leverage to go in and say the Christmas period is coming. Yeah. This is one of the most challenging and stressful periods for a lot of people out there. Yeah. Come and get some juice, come and get some nourishment, come and get some nurturing, come and sit in circle. Yeah. Before that period kicks off, I've got something really special for you. Yeah. And you start coming at it from a really different perspective, which is actually speaking to what people are really going to get out of this. Because I tell you what, if someone came at me with that, I'd be like, here, take my money. I'm coming. Even though I'm going to tell myself I don't have time, right? I actually need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, there's loads of different ways that you can get people in the door, right? But what it takes is connection. What it takes is showing up in front of people, because there's some ridiculous statistic. I can't even remember what it is now, but it's something like people have to see whatever it is that you've got 20 times before they'll even think about getting their wallet out, right? And I think it's even more these days. So you got to plug it, right? And a lot of people will say, oh, I don't like sales, and oh, I don't want to push, I don't want to be pushy. And it's like, bullshit, man. Come on, stop robbing people of what you've got there, Shani. Not saying that you are, but that's the premise behind it. You're offering a service that is really really needed. Yeah. and it's going to be powerful for so many. So don't rob them of that by getting in your own way in any way, right? Because a lot of people do, right? In terms of, I don't want to show up. And I mean, I worked with a guy for a while. And honestly, leading up to a launch of whatever he's got going on, oh my God, right? It's just like there'd be emails coming every freaking, half an hour on the last few days, on the last couple of weeks. There's just post, 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 right? It's just like, hey, look at this. Hey, hey, did you know I'm doing this? Hey, blah. And it's just like, wow. Yeah. And people will have their opinion. They'll have their opinion. But the people that want the thing are going to want that. Man, I'd forgotten. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. The other thing is shoulder tap, right? You'll have a whole lot of people on your friends list that you could write a personal message to and say, hey, I've launched my first big thing with her tribe, and I really want you to come. I think you'll love it. Would you like me to send you the details? Yeah, really simple, personal connection, and get your co-facilitator to do that as well.
Mm.
People love it, man. They're like, oh, wow, thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, I did that one already. Like I flicked a Facebook message out to like all my peoples.
Well, on your page?
No, just on Messenger.
Yeah. And was it personal? Was it, or was it a cut and paste job?
Yeah, it was a bit of a cut and paste job.
Yeah, personal. You know what I do is I will just sit there and voice note, like minute voice note.
Yep.
And if you do want to save time, you can do a cut and paste, right? Or do a little bit of a personal message, right? A text or something, and then voice note a more general, hey, here are the details, and then you can forward that to everyone, right? But it just gets your voice in it, and
Yeah.
and you can just forward that to everyone. But oh, hey, so and so, how's it going? Haven't seen you since, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of personal goes such a long way, right? And then if you have done something already, and this is the bit that most people won't like. Oh, so what's in your way? Is there a reason that you're not going to join, or and then you get their objection. They might say, oh, it's too much, the price is too much. Okay, how much would you like to pay? Let's cut a deal. Let's meet somewhere, right? Yeah. You want to build these bridges to have people come into your event, right? To have them come and do your thing. Yeah. Because most people will not come to you and say, hey, I'd love to come, but I can pay half of that. Would that be okay? Most people don't do that. Yeah.
No.
But if you invite that from them, say, hey, well, look, how much could you pay? Throw something in the ring, and we'll find a meeting point in the middle that feels good for both of us, right? And really, really good as well, because then you'll get a feel for sort of what people are going to pay. Yeah. Yeah. Shoulder tapping and your immediate circle is just gold, right? And it's something that I avoided for a long time. Just like putting it in front of my friends and saying, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'd really like you to come. I think you'll love it. Yeah. And that's really light, right? Like, rather than if I was getting in my own way and all my shit was coming up, then I wouldn't even be able to put that message out, right? Because it'd be like, oh my God, I can't do that. Oh, I'll just play it safe and put a post on Facebook. Yeah. Plug it. Put an early bird on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I forgot. I've just launched my thing, and I forgot that you can do early birds. Right, I'm going to put an early bird out. This is the time. Yeah, and just whack it out. Look, there's no perfect here. This is the beautiful thing. Okay, you've launched it, it's at a price, so what? Put something else out, and you could choose like like a weekend and make it a special offer weekend, make it a 2 for 1 or something like that, right? All of, if you buy a ticket, you can bring your friend. Yeah. But all of these kind of little bits of genius, they don't arrive when you're in this space of, oh my God, I haven't sold any tickets, and oh, it's Christmas and no one's going to buy it. And, it's all of that. When you're in that, that blocks you from all of these little ideas that can come through.
Yeah.
So you got to acknowledge that, because look, when I think about Christmas, Australia, New Zealand, I mean, we just shut up shop, man. Nobody does anything over
Yeah.
January and stuff. It's crazy, right? And I'm just like, and there are people that just don't participate in that. Like I was talking to Tony the other day, and he was talking to, he's just come out of a deep dive container, and he said that the guy running it was like, I got like 8 trainings over December, January. 8 trainings to facilitate over December and January. It's like, wow. Interesting, hey? It just, what determines it is where you are coming from, right? If you come from, look, sisters, we're coming into Christmas, yeah, can often be a very stressful time. Come and get nourished before you do, before that happens, all right? Come at it that way. How's that sitting?
I got notes.
Good, good. So what are you going to try? What are you going to move forward with?
I think I'm going to bring like an early bird in at 35.
Yep.
Just to start with, like it may not continue at that lower price, but I think it's just like, and then I think the personal voice note is like really powerful, like just dropping it in with like a personal voice note to my inner circle or my outer circle.
Yeah.
You already mentioned posters. Yeah, that's my project for this week, is to make up some pretty posters and put them out, and get myself a QR code so I can just not have a whole lot of info on that poster.
Yep.
Yeah, and I also need to like post it out to like Facebook groups as well, like Facebook spaces. Actually, one more question, Jack, just out of curiosity. So her tribe has a business page on Facebook, but then also has a group within that Facebook page. And I'm just curious about because like if you invite someone to like a page, it doesn't really engage them. But if you invite them to like a group, that like you can post to the group and there's more sort of engagement in that. Am I doubling up by having both those things? Is that confusing things?
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like Facebook pages, no one sees your Facebook page unless you're running ads. Like a Facebook page is to run ads, right? It's the business side of things. They won't show your business page to many people unless you're running ads, right? Which is why I use my personal page. That's where everything of mine goes. Like it sometimes makes it onto my Facebook page. I mean, but sometimes makes it onto my business page if I share it, and I'm trying to get my VA sharing everything everywhere and stuff. But use your personal page. Yeah. If you can get people in your group, then yes, it takes a bit of energy to be put it, posting in the group and stuff. But that's the deal, right? People see your personal page more than your business page, unless you're running ads. Yeah. And if you can get people into your group, great. Then you can share in there. You can do live videos. Like live videos are great. Yeah. Like you sitting in your car there going, hey, I've got a new thing coming up. It's this. And whatever, and it's just practice, right? You just start doing it, because stories, lots of people see stories. right? Lots of people look at stories. So put it all on your stories. And it's just about getting over this, just putting yourself out there and putting yourself out there in a big way, right? Because it's got to be a big way because there's so much noise online,
Yeah.
so much noise. Yeah. And you want to reach your audience, you want to reach your people, and you want to make sure that they know about your thing.
So
Yeah.
you reckon the group should be a group from my personal page, not a group from my business page?
I have the group. I think the Wolfpack group is from my business page. I don't even know. Do I know that? Um, I don't know. What's the
All right.
difference? Let me know, Shani. Can you make a group from your personal page?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check that out for you. I'm not
Okay.
actually sure.
Come back to me on that. I'm
I'll
conscious
come
of
back to you on that.
hogging
Yeah.
a lot of space here.
But the other thing that I would say is yes, the community groups, like all the community groups around where you are,
Yep.
put it in there, right?
Yep.
Hey, it's coming up to Christmas. Come and nourish yourself, sisters. This is my new thing. I'm really excited to get it out. If you can go live, if you can do little short videos like 30 seconds or a minute, which I'm only just getting better at because I tend to waffle on for a long time. But you just, really, really plug it, so everybody knows, because you think about how many people see one post and then it's gone. Right, it's gone in their feed unless they're actively looking at you and have followed you, and your stuff's coming up on their feed. It's gone. Yeah, yeah. It's just it's one of the realities of social media. You've got to be there. You've got to be on there. Yeah, and I don't do it all the time. I get excited and then have a big burst and then go completely dead in the water. Yeah, and that's just the way I am. It's the way I operate. But when you're in launch mode, then you got to hit it. Yeah. Yeah. So even and if look, okay, one last thing and then we'll move on. If there are a few people, right? Like 3 or 4 people that you really want to be there, right? You really want them there. It'd be amazing that they're there. They'll love it. Then send them a personal message and make them an offer. Say, I really want you to be in this space. Like, it would really light me up if you were there. Yeah, and I'd like to offer you this special price just for you. All right. $25. Just get a few of your really, the people that you really want to be there. Because how cool is it to receive a message from somebody that's in your world that that you care about, that says, I really want you to be here. Yeah, because once you get those first few ticket sales, energetically it'll shift, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And you want those first few ticket sales because then it's not just all the lastminute.comers at the end, which most
Yeah.
I know New Zealanders are like that. All right, go forth and conquer. Go and get that event, right? And try these beautiful things. And look, it's progress, not perfection. None of it matters. It's just moving, and shifting and trying things and seeing what lands.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Very welcome. What else have we got? What else is happening in the hood? In the hood. What else is cooking in your worlds? Anything new? Anything rolling? It's funny, eh? Shani was like, oh, I don't want to take up too much space. And now, yeah. Jodes, what's happening in your world, love?
At first I thought you wanted to good or bad piece with parenting, and so I went through all that, and I think I solved my issues with just the dialogue that Catherine and you were having. Not issues, but it's nice to hear the conversation. My 10-year-old is getting a little bit of disrespect personality coming through, which is hard to see whether it's like humor or just actually real should have taken the piss when I'm not in a good space. But talking about that led on to me thinking, making good or bad. I am having issues. I wake up every morning and I'm just like making my mood bad. Like I think I know it's connected to sugar, because it seems to be what I do when I'm cruising along, and it's probably something that's affecting my mood and my hormones because of my age. But yeah, it's almost like this. It feels like I'm in survival. Like it's so dull, and I sort of compare it to earlier parts of my life, and yeah, I mean, it's all around self-care, but I'm like, what is wrong with me? I was sitting on the rock meditating this morning by the beach, and I'm like, it's like, you've been on MDA or something all your life, and then then I'm not. It's like I feel so dull, and I'm making it bad. Like there's moments, of course, when I'm belly laughing and feeling good, but I'm expecting myself to, I'm up in the middle of the night going, because I had a glass of champagne last night for my birthday because I felt in such a bad mood, and I thought the glass of champagne will lift me up, but I knew that it would curse me into waking up 5 times a night because I don't drink very often. And yeah, I was, because it was my birthday, I had champagne, but no one to celebrate it with. So I was in the kitchen cooking, doing all the bits, going, fuck it, trying to liven up. It's just like this dullness, this background dullness. And then I think, wow, is this menopause, or is this because I don't have, deep, intimate connections where I share with people a lot because of my isolation piece? Or is there something worse? Like, am I dying? Have I got like a tumor on my brain which is pressing my you can't be in a good mood ever again, like my mind, my subconscious mind, because I'm reading William's book at the moment, and it's amazing. The natural, what's it called?
Secrets of Natural Success.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that's hitting home on some sort of conscious level, and it's all really making so much after the container that I was in with you. And now it's like reading this, it's like locking it in, sort of locking it in, Eddie, locking it in, because I've already had the work with you, and then but I'm stuck with me, and I can't get away from me, and I want to come back to me, and I'm sitting on the rock sort of thinking, it's my purpose. I don't have a purpose. So I'm making my bad mood bad. It feels like I've got a monkey on my back.
Yep.
And it's haunting me.
Yep.
And I've been grumpy at my daughter. I had to take her to visit my parents, and it's like, wow, I'm tapped out. I'm totally tapped out from the constant noise, and I'm asking for my boundaries. And my neighbor, just before I jumped onto this call, I just walked in after coming back from the beach, and the neighbors had got someone to trim their hedge, but they hadn't told me, which is all good and fine, except for the dude just walked in behind me, opened the gate, walked straight around to the shed. He'd already set up, was on top of my shed, trimming the hedge, walked past me as if I was invisible, didn't even say, oh, hi, is it okay if I walk onto your property? And I'm like, oh. And so I said, oh, excuse me, what are you doing? And then he made me feel like the bad guy, like, why are you asking what am I doing? And I'm like, well, I could be walking around naked. So I'm always double questioning myself. And because I massage from home, it's like, wow, everywhere I go, I'm creating more irritation, obviously, because I'm owning that. And maybe it is just the sugar, but I just wanted to share it. And I feel really emotional about it, actually, because it feels like yeah. That's scary. And when I went to visit mum last week, I had to drive. It was only like 3 hours because we met halfway, and it was a major for her to get to Waihi Beach. And yet I didn't get there till 2 in the afternoon, and I'm fully abled, although they'd come the day before. And when I got there straight away, it was like, and I'd had texts on my phone. It was like, you're too late. You've got too much luggage. You're this. You're too this. You're too this. You're why are you this? And I was just like, actually amazed. I'm just terrible. I did pack too much. I did, and I'm totally triggered straight away because instead of mum being able to say, I missed you, or I was worried about you, or, it was that criticism. It just, wow, I just was like, oh my God, I have to work with this. Oh God, breathe. And so I felt like a bad, naughty child. And I realized that I was taking my time because I probably sabotage myself to get places or do things when I don't really want to do them, or I've got some fear around them. Like see, my mum was amazing, but it's also really scary and triggering, and she's like 40 kilos, and yeah, I'm living in fear mode. I mean, a lot of you already know that I sort of find it hard to step out of my victim a lot, and I'm observing it. But that's all I've got, even though I didn't think I had a lot. That is a lot.
There's always a lot under the surface once we start digging around. But look, my love, taking that journey out of victimhood and out of survival is a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight, like the Pantene ad, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen. It's a process that we show up to, right? Because when I had lived over 40 years in my victim, right? That's a lot of years, man. That's a well-worn path of survival, I'm just going to mute you, honey, because there's a bit of feedback, of survival, of playing that victim card, right? And I played it really well. I can say that now. But, some of the questions that we can start asking ourselves, right? Because even the way that I heard you talking around, that there's something wrong with me, right? And there's something wrong with how I feel. And there's, it's like you're making your mood bad. And interestingly, how I asked my boy, what am I still making bad? And he said, you're still making it a bit bad when I feel bad. I'm like, fuck, yeah, you're right, and you're doing that with like bells on, honey, right? It's like, it's okay when you're feeling good. Yeah. When life's going okay, that's okay. Yeah, that gets the tick box, right? But when you're not, it's like, this is wrong, this is bad, this shouldn't be happening. And that's the fastest, most epically powerful way to keep us in that place. Right? It's like, okay, I'm having a shit day. Okay, cool. I don't like it. Right? I don't like it when I'm having a shit day. I don't like it when I'm short with my kids. I don't like it when I, go back to the fridge and eat another, half a chocolate, whatever. And I just don't make myself bad about it, because that's the glue that makes me stay in it longer, right? It's like the self-flagellation punishment. Yeah. And you're right, we do sabotage ourselves, and we do create these dynamics and situations where we're going to receive the old shit again, right? I mean, who resonates with that? Like, I fuck around and end up late to places. And I'm like, why do I do this? I just, I'm like looking at this. Surely I'm about to turn 50. Surely I would have got this by now. Nah, that's obviously something that I'm going to be navigating for the rest of my days, right? And this is what we're here to do. We're not here to get it perfect. We're not here to reach some unattainable goal, because being human is not that. right? It's like our particular makeup of wounding and challenges and pieces that are uniquely ours. We're going to be brushing up against those for the rest of our days, right? But how much energy we give them, how much clout we give them, how much judgment we give them is what is going to take away our grace as we're going through them, right? Now, mothers, oh my God. I spent some time with my mother, bless her heart. She's 82 years old, and I can do short doses with her, right? And that's it. And that's always how it's going to be. And if I'm in a low mood, whoa, it's even I'm like open, man. It's like my heart is open. It's like, just come and stab me, mum, because I'm already down. Just give me a kick, and to hold myself with as powerfully as I can and as gracefully as I can in connection with my mother, right, means that I have to look after myself even, just to go and like hang out with her, or just, I need to be aware that she's going to love me in her way and not mine.
Yeah, it was so interesting because some of the ways mum was behaving was like, wow, I see myself, or how I unconsciously do that, and then that, I made that bad. But then it's also,
There's a lot of making bad happening, Jody. Yeah.
maybe I'm exaggerating, but yeah, maybe not. And she did this thing with my daughter because we only had 2 nights together, and that one night, the first night, she needed me to sit on the bed because I'd asked her to start talking about death and what she wants, how she wants it to be when she dies, before, during, after, etc. And so she just started sort of having this dialogue, and I said, I'll have to get a pen, and I wrote it all down, and my daughter was there, and it was like, I want to be wrapped in a cotton sheet. I want this. I want no one talking. You're talking amongst yourselves, but no loud music. So there was a couple of pages of that. So it was super powerful. But I was clocking my stepfather walking in and out of a room, not wanting to deal with it, wanting to be part of it, not knowing if he was welcome, going out, everyone doing their own thing, also not acknowledging that she's dying because he really just wants her to get over the flu. And then which is lung cancer, and then my daughter thinking, oh my God, why is this happening? And me just going, okay, this is clunky, but it's also really beautiful. And it's just how it is, like no judgment, no competition. And but I could feel that I was trying to suppress all my big emotions, and I didn't. Yeah, it was interesting. And then I could see it was really about mum, obviously. And I said, look, I'll write it all out. I'll email it to you because I want it to come from you, not me telling my brother and sister who are like going to go, yeah, whatever, something Jody wrote. And, I just wanted her to feel empowered. And then the last day before we left, which was my birthday, it was so funny. Mum got out of her chair and she stood up like this 40 kilo, and she was going like, I'm healed. I'm healed. Oh my God, I'm healed. And it was so funny. It was hilarious. And we were just like, and then the next day I messaged her to say, how are you feeling? As I do. And she goes, I feel amazing. And I'm like, wow, thinking you should keep that up. I'm healed. And because I'd shown them how to roar, and they were all looking at me like I'm nuts because they think I'm nuts, and potentially I am nuts. But I did this roar and I actually lost my breath. And I think that gave my mum, on some level, not that I wanted it to, but it gave her permission to also sort of be expressive. And it was, even though it was a very torturous trip, I tried not to judge it as good or bad because it was just what it was. My family's messy. But when I came through it, and I had a big ugly cry that morning on my birthday, thinking, I never get messages from my brother or sister because they literally, I'm the goat skate, or goat, the scapegoat of the family person. And then, but I actually felt heard and held by my parents, and that's a very rare feeling. So although we're already clunky and we're so imperfect, I got to accept the imperfectness of it. And then driving home with my daughter in a traffic jam, and she's like, Mum, I need to poo, like now. I have to poo now. Get up. I was going, you have to hold in, suck that muscle up, hold it in. She's going, no, Mum, I can't. And she goes, actually, I've done it. I'm holding it in. And I'm going, yay. And she laughed. And then she goes, oh, you shouldn't have made me laugh. Now I need to poo. So it was like pulling over, and she's pooing at the side of a road. And it was so funny. We had a funny trip, even though I felt like I was tripping and tired. And yeah. So there is a light side to it all. Sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just chatting with my friends on the Brady Bunch here.
But this is what it is, Jody. Look, that whole unfolding is life, right? We have all of this shit that goes on in our families, and we think that somehow we're broken and our families are broken and we're the only ones that has this shit going on, and you're fucking not. I tell you right now, everyone has skeletons in the closet, this shit that's going on. Honestly, I've been talking to a client, a new client, and his wife, like they're going through this divorce, and she's hanging his suits up on the fence writing, "You're free now," and like there's so much shit, and it's just, but we don't know it because we're so consumed in our own, and because nobody really tells each other what's going on, right? Yeah. Us humans are messy and chaotic and fucked up and wounded and crazy and insane. And this is the ride, right? There is nothing wrong with you, sister. There's nothing wrong with your family. We're just all human trying our best to do this thing, right? And to not make ourselves bad in the process, right? Because I mean, imagine if everything that you just shared, and I mean, I know you got to the light side where you're like, oh my God, my daughter's like pooing on the side of the road, and that's such a great story, right? It's just such gold. And the fact that, she's holding it in, and Mum, you shouldn't have made me laugh. Now I really need to go again. I mean, God, you'll be able to remind her about that and how funny it was and how light it was, right? All that other stuff. Imagine if it wasn't bad.
Because all these old beliefs seem to be making things, draining the humor. And then when we were driving over the last piece of hill to get to a Halloween show, just 5 minutes late, which was pretty good, a white chicken walked across the road on State Highway on the way to Whangamata. Like literally, we had to slow down for it. And I turned to Ariana and I said, why did the chicken cross the road? And she pissed herself laughing, and I was going, it didn't. It was a rooster. And so, life also blesses us with all these little crazy bits, and I feel really grateful. So thank you for hearing me, my bad dull mood.
Yeah, look, it's valuable, honey, because we all make stuff bad and it creates our reality, right? We're because we're in this judgmental place that what's happening shouldn't be happening, right? And it's happening. Of course it should be happening because it's happening, right? It's happening. There's no way around it. But the way that we hold ourselves in it is what matters. Yeah. And anyone looking from the outside, right? There must be a whole lot of aliens out there in space go, whoa, man, these humans are insane, right? Like just the whole process of being a human, that we're conditioned with these beliefs that just trip us up and continue to keep us in these patterns that are mainly invisible, right? Our operating systems and the way we show up, the way we think, the way we react, the way we feel, right? All of that. And we're in our lives as adults and we're still reacting like that upset child, right? And we're still doing it, and it's wild, right? And when we can step back and go, whoa, that's what's happening, then we can start to find the lightness in it, right? because it's gnarly. You know, and it takes a lot of awareness and commitment and intention, right? And of course, the consciousness and the embodiment that we do in this work to be able to clear the space, to be able to get to that lightness, yeah, where we don't need to be perfect anymore, when we don't need to get it all right and it doesn't have to look a certain way, when we can start to unpack this stuff and just let everything fall away, we can look at it with the lightness that's there. Yeah. And, you know, we can't do this alone. Fuck, that's why I started this group called the WolfPack. Like, Jody, you know, I've watched your energy just completely shift on this call, right? Because you're not alone, even when you feel like you are, even when you're telling yourself the story that you are, right? Because it's a big thing that a lot of people still are running. And it just, like, it blows my mind now. I mean, I was so in that place, not belonging, I'm alone, I'm unsupported. These are all my stories, right? That I've been telling myself forever. Yeah. And how crazy is it that so many of us humans are walking the world feeling like we don't belong when we're all human? We're all here. We're all doing this together. We all have these belief systems. We all have this conditioning. Yet we all feel like we're separate and alone because that is the human journey. Yeah. We come to have this experience in these bodies, but the byproduct of that, the dysfunctional side of that, is that we believe that all of it is true. And it's not. And we have to hold on to that, right? With everything we've got. It's like, wow, what I'm thinking isn't real. None of this is real. It's all old stuff. And then where do we focus, right? Like you're in the middle of William's book. It's a powerful book, right? Focus. Am I going to focus on all of that stuff? Or am I going to laugh with my kid about going for a poo in the car and the chicken crossing the road and all the other stuff that comes up in life when we're available for it, because we're not giving all of our focus and attention to that other stuff, right? To the shit. Yeah. Yeah, we got to reach out to each other. Yeah, we got to show up to the calls when you're here, right? And it helps a lot. Yeah. Awesome, honey. Awesome. Shane, what's happening in your world, brother?
Yeah, what was coming through with that for me was just what a fucking relief, yeah. What a fucking relief to just know that the humanness is it's all right. Nothing's fucked here. Feels really fucked, but it's just not, you know? Yeah, I guess there's a bit coming up for me at the moment. I just kind of feel really fucking like trapped by my whole living situation at the moment now, because there's this thing, like, because we've been served abatement notice hopefully sometime this week, so we know where we're at, but we may all have to vacate the land here, you know, potentially, you know, within a month. And it's like I have this beautiful home which is like a symbol of being able to move and freedom. It's a fucking bus. I don't have a license, you know, and like it needs a COF and stuff, and it's like, fuck, I can't drive it to these things, and just really fucking doomsdaying it all, you know, and not actively doing the thing and looking out for asking for help. And so I'm just, it's just feeding itself this more stuckness, you know, and then decisions like, fuck, what do I do with it moving forward when I go to Australia, and blah blah blah. And yeah, it's just a very uncomfortable position to be in at the moment. And I just don't fucking know what to do, you know. I just don't know. And it brings up all kinds of fucking beliefs. Like the fear of getting it wrong. Fuck, I'm doing it alone. No, like I don't know anyone to help me. I don't know how to do this myself. Fuck, it's gonna cost ridiculous amounts of money. Where do I even move it to? You know, like, fuck, where am I gonna go? What am I even still doing in this fucking country? Am I in resistance to just get the fuck out of here? You know, why am I staying for these festivals? Why this? Just all sorts of shit. And meanwhile, the surrounding area here, like it was really cool. I got, oh, I just there's a kingfisher. Wow. I was so motivated and just tidying this up around here and that, you know, for summer, just to have a fucking cool experience in this beautiful bus in summer and that before I leave. And then this thing come in and it's like, well, fuck, there's no point really doing anything here because we'll just have to fuck off in a week or two. And but anyway, I've arranged to get a weed whacker today because I'm like, it's not even about that, you know, it's like, fuck. This is just about me finding motivation and creating a nice environment for myself and not having to look out and be reminded and go, fuck, you're useless. Oh my God, look at this. It's not a, like, let all of that go. And it's like, man, I'm probably just going to have some fucking fun outside in the sun, you know, like even for that, just to get active and to do something and be able to stand back at the end of the day, you know, with that visual progress. And it doesn't need to mean anything. Like, that's a fucking awesome meaning for itself. And I don't know, just yeah, got really stuck with it all. And yeah, and I know a lot of it's probably a fucking distraction as well for you know, getting into this WolfPack work and coaching work and all of that. There was resistance to even say that word. Because I know that there's been procrastination there, and it's like I feel now instead of having like one or two things to focus on, there's like all of this, and it just feels really overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, you know, when our beliefs are in control, when they have all of our focus, when they have all of our attention, man, they run wild, right? And it's like there's nothing else that there's nothing else. There's no fucking space for anything else for a start, but there's no room for the new to come in, right? There's no room for the clarity. There's no room for the genius. There's no room for the wisdom and the guidance, right? There's no space for it until we make that space. Yeah, until we make the conscious intention to shift. And, you know, when I said to Shani around the whole Christmas thing, and when I used that story around whether it was COVID or a recession, and they just said, well, I'm just not going to participate. I'm just choosing not to participate. I have friends who chose not to participate in COVID, right? They just didn't they didn't indulge it, right? They didn't give it their attention. They just said, yeah, that all of that can play out over there. This is where I'm going. This is where my focus is, right? If we keep indulging all of the whatever it is, right? COVID was that example. Yeah. All of the shit that's coming up, all of the stories, all of the beliefs, all of the this and all of then that is what is going to be created, right? That's our reality. That's where we are. That's what we're swimming in. That's what we're drowning in. Right? Let's fucking be honest here. Yeah. And to allow that to play out, right? And this is relevant for Jody, is relevant for everyone, every human on the planet, right? Allow it to play out and go, oh yeah, okay, there's my shit coming up. There's my family. There's my you know, blah, blah, blah. There it all is. And I'm going to focus here, right? This is my path. This is what's getting my energy. This is what's getting my juice. Yeah. I'm telling the joke about the chicken, yeah, whatever, right? This is where I'm focused. And it's a practice, yeah, that we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. You know, when I said to you guys in the alchemy structure of this work that, yeah, is one thing to wake up. That's one thing, but to stay awake, that's the ongoing journey. And that's what we're showing up for. Yeah. Because Shane, you do know what you want, right? You're just not focused on it. Right? You do know what you want. You're very clear, right? And to look, when our survival, when our security is at stake, it can really rock the foundations, right? And at the moment, like your security, your house, your, the roof over your head is wobbling. Yeah. And it makes it's very easy to feel that wobble and to indulge that wobble, and right, and to get lost in the effects of that wobble, right? Yeah. So what's the deal? If they chucked you off the land, when would that happen?
We don't know. Hopefully this week we'll get served with the abatement notice and we'll actually have the facts. Yeah, it could be 28 days.
Yeah.
And we don't know either whether it's like shit, we just our persons need to leave, or it's like shit, everyone's gonna actually have to get their home and their living thing, anything that's unconsented out of here, basically.
Right.
It's just like we're such on the cusp and the fringe of what you can and can't do here,
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
so that's
just stay well the fuck out of it all, because it's out of my control. All I can do is kind of respond to, with the
yeah.
information when I get
Well, you can either go like this, Shane, and be the fucking trawler with everybody else's shit, because you're right, you don't have a stake in that land,
Yeah.
right? Or you can go, this is where I'm going, right? And forge
Yeah.
your own path. It's like there's other people that can drive buses, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm at
Yeah.
the moment, where it's like, fuck, I've got to get on the bow of this bus
Yep.
and just go, fuck, there's a solution out there that I haven't seen yet,
Yeah. Okay. So when you drop it all, because this is the piece, right? Like if you just take a minute, because I'm dying for a pee. So take a minute, just drop in and let go of all of that stuff, right? Let go of all of what you've just been talking about and go into innocence, right? And set the intention to receive a solution, right? Maybe one, maybe two, maybe the others on the call could do it as well, right? Define a circle as the solution to Shane's issue, right, with the bus. Step into that circle and let's share what we get, because there is a solution there, Shane. I want you to drop everything and find it. I gotta relieve my bladder, just like your daughter when she needed to go for a poo. But look, you've got to be able to drop everything and refocus to be able to receive it. Okay, I'll be back.
Oh. Mm. Mm.
Okay, so in a situation like this, Sarah's dropped off. All right. And when we've got stuff going on, right, we can move our body, we can shake it out, we can start to move the energy through, we can let go of what it is that we're holding on to, right, so that we can receive the guidance, which is all about what we would love, right? That's it. What would you love, Shane? It's like this stuff that you're making it about has nothing to do with you, right? and you don't have to participate in terms of the land, in terms of that situation, right? Those circumstances. Yeah. What involves you is your bus and what you would love to do with your bus and what you would love to do as in your path. Is there anything that matters? So what'd you get?
I was sort of shaking it out and it only just come back to sit down, but you know, that really hit when you said what would I fucking love? Straight away, I'm just like, man, I want to be on the fucking beach on the East Coast, you know, and to enjoy this freedom and this whole thing. That shit, I can actually do that. That's what I can do with this bus, you know, and to just fucking get rid of everything, and have it in a place where there's no maintenance, you know, and I can just enjoy the next few months. And it also, like, I'm not worried about maintenance. I'm not worried about fucking being caught up in other people's dramas and all that sort of stuff. It's like I could just go and be somewhere, you know, for the next couple of months and fucking enjoy that and be near the beach. And the other thing that I was sort of been in resistance a little bit too, you know, like with my ute, like fuck, who am I without that? But there's an opportunity because I had an idea to buy a van, you know, for the summer, because it's like, this is not really, you don't just take this away for the week.
No.
So it's like having this, you know, somewhere parked up beautiful on a beach, and then just having a shitty old van, you know, for a few months for the summertime. And also when Caleb and Shani come, I mean, my vehicle's only a 2-seater. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, when it becomes about what you love, it's simple, right? It's simple. It doesn't mean it's easy to focus on what you would love, because all of the barriers and all of the what ifs and all of the conditions come up to start slapping you around, right? But it becomes are we moving from what we would love, right? Or are we stuck in a whole lot of drama and fear and all of that shit, which is then going to force, hello microphone, which is then going to force us to move rather than we move from what we would love. Yeah. And I was talking to someone about this yesterday, because when I moved from the place before I had this one, I got intuitively, it's time to go, right? It's time to leave this house. And I ignored it. And then a few months later, the landlord decided he was going to sell, and then I had the push. I could have moved easily on my terms, following, you know, what I love, being the bow of the boat, or waiting for my choice to be taken away from me, and then no choice, right? Then I have to be, then someone else is or something else, the circumstance is pushing. Yeah. I know what is more empowered, yeah, to make that choice. And when you're focused on that, it's like, okay, I want to be on a beach on the East Coast somewhere. That's your end result, right? The how to get there is going to unfold when you hold that. Right. I need to get a bus license. I need to learn how to drive a fucking bus. Okay, cool. That's not impossible. Okay, the logistics of how to do that will unfold if that becomes something that's going to get you to your end result.
And I've seen all that stuff as well, but I think what's been identified here, and it's like, shit, I haven't really tapped in to what I'd love, you know, and haven't had a very, very clear decision, like, fuck, this is actually what I'd love. Bang. Yep. And focus on that. There's been a lot of flip-flopping, and, you know, because another thing, like, I kind of arrived at this the other day, and it's like, shit, there's this beautiful, like, I really, really want to have this amazing experience here over between that Christmas and New Year's period time, you know, and have this beautiful family time here. yeah, fuck, I'm so looking forward to that whole experience, you know, and sharing that as a family and with Caleb and um
And
yeah.
if that's what you would love, because look, and this is the simple, this is the simplicity of it. If you are not connected to what you would love, then you're in your shit.
Mm,
It's that simple, right? And if you're in your shit and you're trying to get out of your shit, you connect to what you would love. Right? What
mm,
would I love here? Man, I'd love to be telling silly jokes about chickens crossing the road. That's what I would love. Okay, cool. Right? I'm going to do that. And it pulls you out of your shit. But we're so busy trying to fix the shit. Oh, but I've got to fix all that. I've got to solve the problems. I've got to, I've got to get out of survival. I've got to, whatever, which is happening for all of us.
mm.
We simply focus on what we would love. We're out. Nothing needs to be fixed because it's not broken. The only thing that's broken, if I'm going to say that there is something broken, is the way that we're looking at it, right? The way that we're judging it, the way that we're labeling it, the way that we're making it bad, that it shouldn't be happening. Right? Just let it be there. Let it play out. Okay, there's a whole woo going on over here, but where's my path? What would I love? Where do I want to be with this bus? Right? And then the way to get there will unfold when you've got that as your focus, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of where I'd arrive. Like that's what like today where I've organized to get this weed eater and stuff, and it's like fuck it doesn't matter. Like say we do have to move out of here in a month. Who fucking knows? It's kind of unknown. But it was like connecting to the end result of like shit, what would I love to experience over this Christmas New Year's period? And I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna start putting energy into that, you know?
Yep.
Like letting go of fuck, I may get kicked out and all the what ifs and that. And it's like, let's just start connecting to that because it's like that may actually change, you know, it may become more clear that shit, we do need to get out of here. But what's going to happen, at least, is there's some stacking of momentum of just being connected into that, as you say, that end result, the vibration of what I would love. And that may fucking change. And it doesn't actually even matter what it is at the moment. It's just being connected into that vibration.
Yep. Yep. And understanding that what you're feeling is not real, right? If you get kicked off the property, you're not going to die, Shane, right? Just like my son didn't die when he didn't have his phone for 3 weeks, right? You're not going to die, even though at our level of where fear sits in our body and around survival, it's like we're going to fucking die, right? You're going to die, right? And that's where that's where you're coming from, right? Whatever happens, you're not going to die, right? In terms of getting kicked off the land, that's not going to be the end result, right? I'm laughing with myself internally, going, unless you get hit by a truck or something. Okay, well that's, but the stuff that you're making really important at the moment is not going to end up in your death, right? And it's your ego kicking up a big fuss because its safety is being rattled. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And you acknowledge that. Yeah. Okay. This is what's happening. I'm feeling really unsettled at the moment because of what's happening on the land. But okay, you get kicked off. You might have to move a little quicker with some things. Yeah, but when you're not being overrun by the fear that's got you gripped, and that's where your focus is on all of that shit, then the wisdom and the genius can drop in, right?
Mm,
The idea is, okay, well, if that happens, then I could do this, this, or this.
yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's plenty of options, right? I mean, I saw Jody put one in, Cumu. There's plenty of land that you can park a bus on. You just got to put the word out there and find where it is, right? There'll be people that can drive buses that can take you to lessons. It's just putting the word out there and saying, hey, I've got an end result here and I need some help to get to it. The help will come.
Yeah.
The help will come. But you got to know what you need help with, right?
Exactly.
Because you can't ask for it if you don't know what you need help with.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first step. Learning how to get out of your own way so that you can ask for help is the next one.
Mm.
Yeah. Because we all need help and people love to help. And it's one of the biggest things that I still can't, fathom is people, we don't ask for help. Yet when people ask us for help, it makes us feel needed and valued and connected and, all of the things.
Mm.
Why rob other people of that just because we're in our own shit around worth, right? Not being able to ask for help. Yeah, we're all in this together. This crazy, insane ride of being a human. All right, brother?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, what you would love, what you would love, what you would love, what you would love. All of it. What you would love. What would I love with my connection with my kid right now around this issue? What would I love in connection with my mother, right? While she's going through this transition? What would I love around the next few months? Yeah, around your bus. Yeah, what would I love? It's gold. Right, beauties. Thank you so much for coming and joining the call and bringing what's going on for you and getting the insight and wisdom, the very different way that this work enables me to approach my life, view my life, right? See it and be able to live it. Yeah, because it is a very different way and a way that I wouldn't change for the world. So absolutely honoring you guys for showing up and putting yourselves first in that way to come and join the call and get some of the pack goodness, right? So we yeah.
So, just wanted to say I really love your sparkly jumpsuit on the beach. And
Honestly, that was like a last minute, like I just passed it in the wardrobe. I was like, ooh, that could be fun.
awesome.
Yeah, thanks, love. Yeah, it's there's a very new energy coming through, which is all about this, right? Just letting go of all of this stuff of identity and perfection and getting it right and all of that shit. Yeah, it's powerful. Thank you, my love. Take yourselves off mute, guys. This is the way we always go out on our calls. We wolf yell because it's connecting, it brings us together, it's fun, it's playful, it's light. Let's do the thing. Awesome, lovelies. Go well. Lovely to see you, Catherine. I'm looking forward to hearing. Send me a message about what happens with your boy around the new way of using screens as leverage.
There's more than that.
Well, come and join us again. There'll be another
touch.
call. Yep. All right, beauty. Big love, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a
Jack.
beautiful rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Ciao.